Hey guys, welcome back. This is Daisy Stitches. It is April the 2nd, 11:25. Saturday, April the 2nd, 11:25. And I come back to you today. When you're watching this is Sunday night. I've decided to do this on Saturday night is because Sunday's a really busy day for me at work and I know I'm going to be exhausted. So, I'm going to read chapter 4 to you. Chapter 3 to you. My bad. It's chapter 3 to you. And so, here we go. Chapter 3. Oh, the book I'm reading is I Said Yes by Kiersten. Not Kristen, Kiersten. Okay, I can't say her last name. Sorry. It's on Kindle Unlimited. So anyway, chapter 3, her, then. In the beginning, there was only light. I was on a work trip in Atlanta when my first flight was delayed and I had to stay an extra night. Work trips were usually done by groups of us, but that trip I made alone. I remember walking into the bar that would change my life as if it was just yesterday. It was dark and musty, and the outside noise of the street was immediately silent as the heavy door shut behind me. I remember catching my reflection in the mirror behind the bar, my face illuminated by the neon sign that hung behind the barkeep. I made my way across the red carpet stairs and into the concrete floor, my heels clicking loudly and drawing unwanted attention my way. A waiter with a tray of drinks hurried past me without a second glance, though his felt like the only eyes that weren't on me. I took the refuge at the bar, sinking onto a bar stool and laying my phone down on the wood. The bartender approached me, his thick eyebrows raising in surprise. "Well, aren't you from around here, are you?" He said, "Well, you aren't from around here, are you? Is that obvious?" I asked with a half laugh. He smirked. "I haven't seen anyone wear a suit come through those doors since the day it opened. What can I get you?" "Scotch on the rocks with a twist, please," I said, staring at my phone as the notification began to roll in. An email from my boss 1 minute, then 2 replies from other CCD on said email. A text from a coworker, a text from a client. I turned the phone over. 1 minute, just 1 minute. I just need a minute to breathe. "Long day," he asked as he slid the drink across the counter and rested on his elbows in front of me. "They're all long," I admitted, taking a sip and welcoming the warmth that flooded my chest. It had been a long day. If I were being honest, longer than most. Starting with a flight that included a 6-hour layover and ending with two client meetings with one of the toughest hospital CEOs I've ever met. I was getting ready to board a plane and sleep for the next few hours when I was notified that I won't be able to get home that night. Home. It was a strange concept to me, I guess. The place I lived, the address where my mail was sent, with a tiny studio apartment in Seattle with very little to make it feel like an actual home. I slept in hotel beds more often than my own, and I had to think really hard to be able to tell you the color of my walls. I was in my home just a few short weeks a year, and it cost more than I like to admit to maintain it. But it was nice to have a place to go during the limited free times I was given. So not being able to go home that night had been the very large bow on my already shitty day. "So," he asked, interrupting my thoughts, "are you new to the area or in town for a vacation?" "Neither," I said in between sips. The drink was already almost gone. I took the last gulp and slid it back to him. "I'm in Atlanta for work. I head out in the morning. Hopefully not too early in the morning, he said, wiggling the empty glass in the air before he refilled it. I'll be okay, I said, taking the drink from him. It was true. Years of Scamooching alcohol CEOs had trained me well. I knew my limits, and I knew how to avoid a hangover like the pledge. With scotch, I could have four with plenty of water before even the slightest morning headache would affect me. My phone buzzed again, and I let out a sign before flipping it over. Another email. 4 more meetings over the next 2 days. I guess I wasn't going home tomorrow after all. I scrolled through the email. New Orleans tomorrow, then Houston, 2 in Tokyo on the second day. I pinched the bridge of my nose with stress. Not good news, I'm guessing, the bartender said, staring at my troubled expression with concern. I'd been so lost in my thoughts, I forgot he was there. It's fine, I said with a forced smile. Just part of the job. What do you do? I'm a pharmaceutical rep. His blank stare of confusion was entirely too familiar. I sell medical devices and products to leading hospitals. Is it hard? He asked. It's not hard, I guess. There are long hours and quite a bit of travel. But you get to see the world, he asked. The hospital of the world, at least, I joked. There isn't much time for exploring the cities I visit. It's usually in one hospital and straight into the next flight to the next city and the next hospital. If you hate it so much, why do you do it? He challenged. I don't hate it, I argued. Well, you don't seem to like it at all that much. Fair enough. I squinted my eyes at him. Truth was, I didn't hate my job. Most days I loved it. It was excellent money. I did get to travel, and the team I worked with made the trips we took enjoyable. But like most jobs, it comes with its share of challenges. Do you like your job? I do, he said, picking up a glass from the rack behind him and wiping it dry before placing it on the shelf underneath the bar. It's decent money, and I get to meet a ton of interesting people. Don't you get tired of dealing with drunk people, don't you? Drunk people are more likely to buy my products, I said with a wink. Funny, you should say that. Mine too, he said. Case in point. He stepped away from me quickly as a pair of men dressed in all leather approached the bar, their straggly white beards shaking as they laughed loudly. Another round, Marky Mark. Another round, the larger one shouted joyfully. I watched his spit fly into the air as he spoke, but the bartender didn't flinch. He had a rapport with his particular customer. You got it, Tony, he said. The bartender, who I was just learning was named Mark, landed out 4 glasses and poured whiskey into them. The customer slid a $100 bill across the bar. Keep the change, he laughed loudly at God knows what, and the two took their drinks, walked away, and back to their table as half their drinks sloshed out onto the floor. When they moved out of earshot, Mark walked back to me. See, he said, holding up the cash that he slid into the register and began to pull out change for his tip. That was like I tried to do the mental math, at least a $20 tip. I was shocked and had to admit this was not the type of place I expected to see tips that size. Make it like 60, said, holding out 3 20s and sliding them into his pocket. Tony and the guys come in a few nights a week and get plastered on our cheapest whiskey. 4 or 5 rounds like that a night, and with tips that just got bigger as they go. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. 4 or 5 rounds like that a night, with tips that just get bigger as they go. The way I see it, Tony practically pays for my tuition. You're in school? I asked, cocking my head to the side. He had a tough look to him with the dark clothes and messy chiseled hair that made me think college was the last place he would be. What for? I'm third-year law, he said, breaking eye contact modestly. Seriously? He nodded. leaning forward on the bar in front of me. He was close enough I could smell his warm-scented cologne. Yep, seriously, why? That's impressive. Yep, seriously, why? That's impressive, I admitted, taking another drink of my scotch. I'd become into the conversation feeling superior, but my cheeks lit on fire. I realized how quickly the tables had turned. It's no big deal, he said, but thanks. He was quiet for a moment and then said, Hey, I never got your name. It's Hannah, I told him. It's in a hand. He leaned forward and accepted mine. It sounded cheesy, but when his hand touched mine, I swear I could feel the electricity pulsing between us. Nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you, he agreed. Look, I get off here in just a few minutes. I know you said you have an early flight, and my phone buzzed, interrupting his word, and he glanced down. I can see that you're busy, but I'd love to hang out with you for a while. Would that be possible? Oh, I bit my lip nervously as my phone buzzed again. I don't know. He nodded his towel over his shoulder and stepped even further back. Okay, no worries. You don't have to come up with an excuse. My phone buzzed again, but I placed it face down on the bar, focused all of my attention on him. It's not an excuse, it's just, well, I would love to go, but I don't come to Atlanta often. Ever, actually. But you here tonight. His crystal blue eyes locked with mine in the dim bar light. I sucked in the breath. No one has ever taken my breath away the way he did. But I may not even be again. What happens after tonight? He chuckled out under his breath. I don't I I didn't just propose marriage. I just wanted a burger and thought it might be nice to not be alone. Sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not a one night stand kind of girl, I said, setting the empty glass down and running a finger across the rim. He frowned his brows, placing a hand in front of his mouth. And am not am I am I am I am I not speaking clearly? I thought I said I wanted to take you to get something to eat, but apparently you heard drunken sexapilid, something like that. Sexcapity, I don't know, and maybe even marriage proposal in there somewhere. He laughed, waving his hand in front of me casually. Serious, there's no pressure. If you don't want to go, just say so. I twisted my mouth and thought I never said I didn't want to go. He grinned and patted the bar with his palm. All right, then, it's settled. Give me 15 minutes. An hour later, Mark had cleaned up from his shift, and we were in a small, quiet diner across the town. The black and white tile floor reminded me of a restaurant from several decades before, but Mark assured me they had the best burgers in Atlanta, and who was I to agree? By the time the waitress brought us our food, my stomach was gone from substantiance. It had been years since I allowed myself anything as tempting as a greasy fry, but as I picked it up, I began to wonder why. I let out an embarrassing moan as soon as the fry touched my tongue, and Mark snorted. I felt my cheeks turning pink from the warmth of the food, his attention, the self-consciousness I felt for eating like a pig in front of him. I told you it was good, he said. It's not that. I mean, it's good. It's just, I don't really eat this stuff. I forgot how good it was. This stuff, he asked, one raising his brow raising as he went to his plate. Food, that's bad for me. I'm kind of a food addict. To my surprise, he didn't take one look at my thin figure and argue with me like most people did when they learned my secret. I used to be much bigger. It took me a long time to lose the weight, and I haven't let myself go to the old ways of eating, fear of losing weight, losing control, and gaining it all back. His expression turned instantly serious. I'm so sorry, Hannah, he said, pushing the plate away from him. I should have asked, do you want to go elsewhere? Somewhere else? No, I assured him. Honestly, it's fine. This is good for me. A healthy relation with food and all, right? He didn't look so sure. You aren't going to offend me if you don't want to eat this. I don't want to be the thing that causes you to filter with your progress. They probably have salads here. What do you eat? Salads mostly, I said, squeezing the fry between my finger until the inside exploded before placing it down on my plate. Why didn't you say anything? He asked. His tone was accusatory as much as curious. You were so sad about Atlanta. Best burgers and fries. I didn't want to disappoint you. Okay. He looked down and sucked in a breath, then stood from the booth, grabbing our plates and walking to the counter. When he returned in a few minutes, he had 2 salads in his hand. Here's Atlanta's best salad. Atlanta's best salad. You didn't have to do that, I said when he was angry. I'm an alcoholic, Hannah, he said matter-of-factly. An alcoholic who works in a bar. If anyone understands temptation, it's me. So you're going to have to be gentle with my addiction, he paused, and I'll be gentle with yours. With that, he dug into his salad without another word. It was the simplest gesture, and yet bigger than a dozen roses. In the small moment, I'm pretty sure the first pieces of my heart began to fall for him. And chapter 4. It's alright. I gotta get to bed. It's now 11:41, and we have read chapter 3, and this will be posted Sunday. I'm posting it today, so it should be there Sunday night. I hope all is well, all is good. Hope you enjoyed the book. Hope you will enjoy the book as I read it. I noticed in my other video I was really fast, so I'm trying to slow down. So, I pray you have a good day, and don't forget to comment, and subscribe. All that jazz. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.